The Legend of Ochi, directed by Isaiah Saxon, follows the story of Yuri, who is the daughter of Willem Dafoe's character Maxime, who is a hunter of this mythical creature called the Ochi, and apparently this society has been at war with these creatures for quite some time, and they go on a manhunt when Yuri is found missing, ran away with a baby Ochi. So this is a movie I was excited about for quite a bit. I had heard about it sometime last year, threw it on my watch list, started to see some trailers. It looked really interesting. I'm a big fan of the fantasy genre. I really love that we're getting more mainstream releases from it. A24 is putting a lot of money into this genre. Neon is giving us some really cool fantasy stuff. So we're seeing more of it recently, which is cool. Um, but my issue with that is that comes with a lot of caveats. The fantasy genre is one that can lend itself to pastiche and homage a little bit too much. Like we see a lot of these kinds of movies, you know, come by and they're really samey. They're very homogenous. They're very much in line with everything else we've gotten in this genre, and it's not enough to just kind of throw a new coat of paint on it and say, "Hey, look at this creature! Isn't this creature so cute? Don't pay attention to anything else." And that was my issue with The Legend of Ochi. This movie felt pretty hollow. I don't think it came to this genre with any new ideas. I don't think it really was saying anything unique. I actually think the script here and the characters were incredibly weak. I found Isaiah Saxon's direction and visual flair to be very, very derivative. And I just felt like this movie was retreading steps we have retread 100 times over. The narrative pigeonholes itself into this very by the numbers like family creature film. It has like the exact same setup as Lilo and Stitch, E.T. If you've seen any of those movies, you know exactly what happens in The Legend of Ochi beat for beat. And while I'm not necessarily a person who thinks that the narrative is king in when it comes to, dissecting a film, when it's something like this and it really gives you nothing other than that, it's hard not to pay attention to the cliches and the overt paying homage to cinema's past. We don't need any more of that. We don't need overly influenced stuff in the fantasy genre because we've gotten that for decades now. We need to see new voices crop up, and this kind of movie just sets things back a couple of years. It's very, very redundant. I do really like the production design here. I think that the Ochi themselves are a really nice design. I think that going full practical was obviously the correct decision. They look phenomenal. They move really well. They really popped off the screen. I was enjoying everything we got with them. The lore that they tried to intertwine throughout this movie about the Ochi was interesting, but we definitely didn't get enough. There was just one really long exposition dump with a character 2/3 of the way through that felt very, I don't know, unnecessary, I guess. It felt very ham-fisted and spoon-feeding the information to the audience. I know this is a kids movie. I know this was meant for families, but obviously it's targeting that demographic of adults who grew up on like Studio Ghibli, Cartoon Network, who are used to really rich and vibrant world building in their simpler children's media. So I guess this movie was aiming for that, but I feel like any of those people will immediately call bullshit and say, no, this is not enough effort. You need to do more than that to keep me interested. I was really let down by this film. I don't have a ton to say about it because it's very plain. It's very milk toast. It gets in, really doesn't do a whole lot, and then just abruptly ends. And while I think that, like, yes, we get a funny Willem Dafoe performance, we get very Wes Anderson adjacent cinematography, we get cute little creatures, and that, it just feels like a checklist of what does a 20 to 25-year-old who's going to the movies that is an A24 fan want to see? And it feels like they were just going through the motions and being like, hey, look at this. You like this, don't you? And nothing else. And I really am left with nothing else to say. The Legend of Ochi is a very blech kind of movie. It's gonna leave my head probably by tomorrow. There it's very unremarkable. I was very disappointed by it. I thought it had a lot of promise. I thought it could have been something really special. I thought it could have been something very whimsical, very beautiful, very Studio Ghibli esque. But to me, it just comes off as a ripoff of what it is clearly influenced by. So I'm going to give The Legend of Ochi a very light 2.5 out of 5. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's also not going to be something that anyone remembers. Have you seen this movie? Please let me know in the comments down below. I just wanted to thank you guys for the amount of love you're showing to the Sinners review. It's the most viewed video on my channel, which is fantastic. Lots of comments, lots of new subscribers. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, next time I hopefully will have a better movie to talk about than The Legend of Ochi. Have you seen this film? Let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. Let me know what you want me to see, what you want me to see next. And other than that, I will see you in the next review. Thank you so much.